Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to go over the most common mistakes I see people making with their core muscle strengthening program. And this can really get in the way of their recovery from an episode of low back pain and can actually make future episodes of low back pain more likely. Hi, Dr. Brian McGee, physical therapist with Rexercise. It's been my very consistent experience in dealing with many patients who have low back pain that folks tend to commit three primary mistakes in their efforts to strengthen their core that really get in their way and prevent their progress, or at the very least, slow down their progress. And this, again, is true for folks who are recovering from back pain, are trying to prevent back pain, maybe they've had it in the past, and athletes who are trying to improve their athletic performance. So in today's video, I'll go over what those mistakes are, and I'll review the 4 exercises that I most commonly use that I really think are the best foundational core muscle strengthening exercises. Mistake 1, poor exercise choice. So when we do any kind of core strengthening, there's some compressive force applied to the intervertebral discs. Okay, we can't totally avoid that. But here's the problem. If we apply a whole lot of compressive force to those discs, like what happens when we lift something heavy with bad form, or even when we just do really heavy lifting, heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, there's a lot of compressive force on those discs, and some injury can happen. So we want to minimize that compressive force to the extent we can. And some exercises just don't measure up in this regard. They just cause too much compressive force for too little strengthening benefit. There's a million exercises that fall into this category. I can't go over all of them now, but the real 2 leading culprits: sitting torso twisting against resistance. You know those machines you see in the gym, you sit down, you put the pin in the weight column, and you twist against resistance. Don't do this one. I steer all of my patients away from this one. Number 2, old-fashioned sit-ups. These were even taken out of military physical fitness tests because they were creating too many bad backs. Again, too much compressive force on the disc for too little strengthening benefit. Mistake 2, poor form. So with all of the exercises we do, we want to maintain what is called a neutral spine. This is simply the position of the spine where the discs and the muscles can best protect the spine from injury. So what exactly is a neutral spine? It's basically where your lumbar spine has a little bit of curve to the front. This is a natural curve, a normal position. The way you achieve that position, how I coach my patients, is I simply say, sit tall or stand tall. You'll feel your spine curve a little bit. That's normal, and you want to maintain that position with all of the exercises. Mistake 3, a lack of focus on endurance. Our lumbar spine and our core stabilizing muscles are not power muscles. Our power muscles are in our legs and hips. Our core and spine stabilizing muscles are really endurance muscles. They're meant to stiffen and stabilize the spine when we have to do something forceful, and they have to hold that position, so they need endurance. So our exercise choices should reflect this reality. So as a result, all of the exercises I'll demonstrate today involve a hold time of about 5 to 10 seconds per repetition to focus on endurance. The first exercise we're going to do is a curl up. We're working on the abs, but we want to maintain that neutral spine posture that I talked about. And that's very much in contrast to what we typically do when we do some kind of ab work, right? We typically press the back down into the surface and then curl up. We want to avoid that. Again, we want exercises that maximize strengthening while minimizing that compressive force on the intervertebral disc. So how do we maintain that neutral spine position? Okay, so have one leg straight, one leg bent. That helps tilt the pelvis a little bit, creates a little bit of curve in your back. Put one hand under your back so you can feel if you're pressing down. You want to avoid that. Curl up a bit, lifting up the head and shoulders. I'm not pressing on my hand. Hold 5 to 10 seconds. And do about 10 reps of this. Okay, now if that's easy, what you can add is some arm and leg movement. So opposite arm leg, I'm maintaining that curve in my spine. I'm not pressing on my hand. I curl up. I hold the curl up the whole time. And I lift up and down with the limbs. And if you want to make it harder still, a little hold time with the arm and leg in the extended position. Before I demonstrate the next exercise, I want to remind everybody, click those like buttons, subscribe buttons, leave a comment. I'd really like to see your comments about how you're doing with your core strengthening. So next exercise, a bridge. We're trying to strengthen both low back and hip muscles, and using this band really helps engage the side hip muscles. So lift up one foot, squeeze the butt muscles a little bit, maintaining that neutral spine, which is tricky to do. Lift up, hold for 5 to 10 seconds, come down. Up, hold 5 to 10 seconds, come down. 10 reps per side. Next exercise, one of my favorite exercises, the side plank. Really great core strengthening exercise. It really targets some of the most relevant stabilizing muscles in the spine while not causing too much of that compressive force between the vertebrae. Okay, so feet offset, one in front of the other. Which one is forward doesn't matter too much, okay? Hand on the side, lift up. Now, you want to be straight like a plank. You're not sagged down, you're not piked up like this. You're on your side and you're straight. Hold this 5 to 10 seconds. Brief break in between reps. If you can do 5 to 10 reps, you're doing good. The last exercise is the bird dog, a really commonly used core muscle strengthening exercise. However, two main mistakes are really commonly made that really short circuit progress. Number one, there's not enough focus on endurance. There needs to be some hold time for each repetition. People tend to move way too fast with this exercise. Number two, people lose their form. You have to maintain that neutral spine for this to work as well as possible. So when you're doing a bird dog, number one, make sure you're in that neutral spine position. There's a little curve here. You're not up here, okay? Flat back, a little bit of curve. Keep that the whole time. The spine shouldn't move. Extend an arm and leg, hold 5 to 10 seconds. The whole time is the important part. Now, also, don't rotate. You might feel yourself rotate if you're a little on the weak side. You might shift your weight over the supporting limb. Avoid that. Now, a way you can make it a little harder is between reps, don't touch the floor. Come back, don't quite touch, extend into the next rep. Again, keep that hold time for each rep. Another thing you can do to make it a little harder is move the arm and leg in and out alternately for the duration of that repetition. That actually gets pretty tiring. So those are the three biggest mistakes I see patients make with their core strengthening, and those are the four, I think, most foundational and effective core muscle strengthening exercises. Now, if those exercises were a little tough for you, refer to my basic core strengthening video, which I'll link in the description. But otherwise, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it helps you get back to what you love to do. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next video.